Hey guys, all right. Well, I'm back. We had a little bit of technical difficulties there. But that's just because, I think it's a high UV day. So it was messing with the phone and the phone's internet for a little bit. But okay, I have all our stuff here for our project, so I'm going to be pointing the camera downwards so we can get her done. But we did leave off on some of the reading, which was the Wally's World card that we have here in Scotland. We talked a little bit about divide and seeing where that may come up this week. We also had the Nine of Pumpkins, the Sun, and the Death card. And actually I didn't quite get to dive into that one right when the internet went out. So, okay, let me just go into it real quick. Okay, so it feels like there is a huge transformation depending on how we want to look at situations this week. So whether we want to look at things as like divided and I'm on this side and this person's on that side, kind of like what Wally's World was talking about, or we could look at it as this is a great opportunity for people to come together to try and see beyond maybe news sources and all of that, and see beyond the external and start going on the internal. So a lot of internal work this week. Make sure that we are looking at the news from the inside. So ask the higher self, which is source energy, which has basically the news of the universe. And that's where we can go in this week. I think that would be the best. All right. Let's see here. Yes, I am back again. It looks like Andrew let everybody know. Thank you, thank you. Yes, Magic Universe, we are back. And now I'm in the shade. Aurora said, Andrew clued us in. Marry me, Tara. Yes, yes. Angela said, is everything okay? Yes, it's fine. We just had some snafus. Okay, Susie is buffering, so she will be right back. Thank you so much, Andrew. Edgar says, it made us chase you a little. Well, hey, man. What's a live chat without a chase? Anyway, John, hey, how's it going? Okay, so, all right, so I'll put these back aside. I am going to get us into our DIY project. So I mentioned at the very beginning of the live chat that there was a voting poll this week, and it was on my YouTube public page. I also gave it to my YouTube members. I gave it to my patrons. So thank you to all you guys and to all of my subscribers. And the poll ended up being it was pretty close at first between today's winning vote and one other vote. But then after the YouTube members and the patrons came in, kind of blew it out of the water. You guys wanted a DIY spell candle, and that's what we're going to do today. Okay, so let me put these here. I wanted to find a nice shady juniper to hang out under, which is why I'm like, let's see. Aurora says, are you vying for the game show? Yeah, I guess so. Angela said, moonfuls of hugs because moonfuls are too small for people as amazing as you all. Aww. Thank you, Angela. You are amazeballs. You are all amazeballs. Okay, so quick, before we get into this DIY, John's like, nice. Just filling you guys. Okay, so I had to quick run off because first of all, although it's kind of cool outside, it's like in the low to mid 70s, it's a high UV day, which made my phone get too hot in the sun, even though I tried to cover it, which means that it doesn't do internet when it gets too hot. So I threw my phone in the freezer. So that's where you guys were. You guys were in the freezer to try and cool it down. And now I'm underneath a shady tree and it's very cool right here. So we should be fine. And then I also had to tend to James's injury, because I am his doctor at the moment, so I had to check on my patient. And then there was some snafu with the trailer and I had to go fix that real quick. So Aurora said, at least it was when it was just Mark Labette. Oh, from the Chase game show. Ah, okay. Angela said, yeah, it is for sure. Okay, so yeah, So yesterday, wow, I kind of hurt my finger when I was putting that thing back. But so yesterday I was doing something in the cabin. I forgot what it was. Oh, I was getting ready for the Inktober. If you guys haven't checked out some of the entries that I've done for Inktober, you can check it out on my Instagram page at Kittens, Weights, and Tarot. I love doing Inktober every year. I think they have wonderful prompts, and it gets me into my drawing again because I don't really draw too much anymore, although that used to be a huge part of my life when I was little. Like I used to draw like multiple things a day, and I needed a huge stack of like computer papers so that I could just draw. And when I was going to go off to college, I wanted to be an artist. Like I wanted to be a cartoonist or some sort of artist. I just wanted to draw. And my parents both let me know that being an art person was not something I was allowed to be because it doesn't make money. So they said I needed a more practical job. And so my dad was like, maybe you should be a teacher. So I was like, okay. So I ended up going into teaching because I wasn't allowed to be an artist. So working on healing that shadow now, those traumas, like after denying my art and my creativity, because I just decided, well, maybe I'm not good enough because my parents decided I wasn't good enough, you know, and they said that I wasn't going to make money at it, which probably means that I'm probably just not good at it. So that's why I like put that off to the side. And now when I get to do the Inktober, I get to do my art again, and I feel like it's starting to come back again. Like I want to start drawing again, because those were the things I love to do. I love to sing and I love to draw, and those were two things my parents were like, no, you can't do that. Fast forward, I did become a professional opera singer. I was invited to sing in Italy. I sang around San Diego. Like I did get to do that professionally for a while, and that was pretty cool. And that like fulfilled that role. I was like, okay, I did that. I feel good about it. Don't need to do it forever. I just wanted to be able to do it. And so now I'm doing my art again. So here we are. Let's see here. Edgar said, speaking of candles, I lit one for my Santa Muerte, just an offering. I noticed it was burning super fast but stopped 2/3 down and turned off. Interesting. Might have to meditate on that one. Angela said maybe she had all she wanted out of it. Yes. Aw, thank you, Susie. Angela said, hugs, you're an amazing artist. You could do this. Thank you. Oh, Aurora slanging some cards. She said the next card is the Babylonian goddess Gulaf with healing. My goodness, Caitlin, wait till you see the candle that we're going to make. It goes right with what you're saying. Magic Universe says, can hear you, but the picture is frozen. Oh no. Maybe just a little reboot there. Susie said, I had to come back in, Magic, refresh maybe. Plus YouTube's being a little sketchy lately. I guess like with all of that. Angela said, praise Gula. Yes, healing, lots of healing. That's definitely what we need. So yesterday I was getting ready to do another Inktober thing, and I wanted to get some items out of the cabin because I wanted to use them kind of as still life so that I could do my art around it. I was trying to like set up a scene so I could sketch it. And let's see, Aurora said, nice. Did you watch the replay from last week? I got through part of it until the internet shut down. So I have to watch the last part still. But it was getting pretty interesting, I will say. Definitely with you, Caitlin. I'm like, interesting. It seems like there was a lot of energy going on during that time. Edgar says, that's what I'm thinking. The wick is fine, not drowned, no wind. Maybe she did take what she needed in a gift. Yeah. Angela said, healing is a serpentine path. You have to face the poison to make the antidote, to become whole a little more each day. Remember, the serpent and the owl, the old bones are not your enemy. They have wisdom that others locked away. I love that, Angela. I love that so much. That is beautiful. So yeah, back on the healing topic, as you guys are mentioning. So I'm in the cabin trying to get a few things, do a still life or whatever for the drawing. And I think I hear a yell, but I thought maybe it was one of the neighbors was like like screaming or something. But then I hear James yelling and he's calling my name, and I'm like, oh shit, like he's really yelling. He's like, Tara, Tara, I need your help. And I'm like, okay. So like I didn't even like wait to put on my shoes. Like I ran across the rocks barefoot. I was just like, I ran in, and he was standing outside the RV, and he was clutching his pinky, and literal blood is like squirting, just like the movies, just like, and it was like, basically it looked like a murder scene all over the staircase, like leading up into the RV. So it was like, so there's that. And he was like, I don't know, when things like that happen, I get really calm, and I'm very good at emergency situations, especially when it deals with like trauma to the body, because that's what I had to do as a track and field coach. Like sometimes some things happen to the athletes and I have to go there right away. Like either they're concussed, somebody broke their shin once, like literally broke their shin. Somebody had like cracked their neck. They didn't break their neck, but there's been all kinds of things where I've had to like jump into action. I've had students have seizures where they just like stood and they just like fell on their face, like, and started seizing. I'm just good with that, good with kids projectile vomiting. But if it's my own blood and it's my own stuff, then I'm going to faint. But if it's somebody else, like, no, and it's just, I can do it. Ouch. Angela says, was it the left hand? Because the left hand tends to spurt more because the veins in the left hand connect with the heart. This one's on the right hand. Actually, this is his main hand. Caitlin says, maybe when Paula feels better, you could be a Triple Daughters guest. I'll check in with her. Ooh, that'd be cool. Angela said, thank you. You can screenshot any of the poems that you guys like. Will do, especially when I go back and read your comments. John says, I'm the same as far as taking care of people in an emergency. Yeah, it's like if I were squirting blood, I would be like, I think I'm dying. Somebody else's, I'm like, it's okay, we're going to put pressure on the wound. So that's what we did. I just knew it just needed a lot of pressure. I went and grabbed the gauze. I grabbed my surgical tape, because we have some emergency kits and trauma kits, around. So I was just like, quick, like, boom, like, get that to stop. And then I just kept like putting more and more gauze till it stopped seeping through, basically. And I just like wrapped it up and was just like, put as much pressure as possible. Could see that he was starting to sweat and he was going in kind of like a shock, which meant I knew that he could faint. So I needed him to go sit down. So I sat him down, we turned on the AC, I put him in the recliner, put his feet up, put a bunch of pillows and everything under his feet so that you gotta make sure that the legs are above the heart, because FYI, just in case you guys are in an emergency, like what is going on? Hold on just a second. What is happening? What the heck? Wow, you guys. I'm gonna have to deal with that after this live chat. Holy shit. Okay. I don't know, it's like there's some odd energies going on. That was me banging, by the way. I was smacking my Jeep. Wow. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, definitely a day of strange sounds. So yeah, that's okay. So let's get through this one story first. So if somebody is like starting to sweat and they're getting really hot, and they're freaking out, that means that their heart is racing, and when the heart is going into fight or flight reflex, that means that the heart's trying to pump all the blood to the extremities so that you can quickly run away from something, or you can quickly fight something. It wants all the blood in your hands, right? Well, that's not what we want, especially if somebody is bleeding from one of their extremities. So you have to make sure that they are laying down. Make sure the legs are above the heart. Pull the blood back from the extremities back into the heart. Helps to also slow the heart, bring the blood pressure down. Sometimes people start to feel like their hearing gets muffled, and that's because what happens with high blood pressure when people are like in a really amped up state. Make sure the hand is also, the hand that's hurt, also above the heart. Had the AC on, I was fanning him, and he, calmed down and everything, but it was a pretty deep cut. I think he went past the first 2 dermal layers. I would say that if it were, I don't know, like, you could do stitches, but stitches only make it heal like a day or 2 faster. The body could really heal on its own because it was a very clean cut. So meaning the skin can fuse back together. It should be fine. Sorry if anybody's a little squeamish about that stuff. But hey, for my little herbal witches out there, if you don't really have anything else on hand and you want to be able to coagulate your blood quickly, meaning you want it to stop bleeding quickly, if you have a cup of strong black tea already brewed up, that would be good. But tea has a lot of tannins in it, just like red wine has tannins. What tannins do is they bind proteins together, which is why some people who drink a lot of black tea, let's say, it tends to alleviate gut issues temporarily, like not over a long period of time, but if you temporarily have some gut issues, it tends to bind the things within your intestinal wall and help to stop, let's say, diarrhea, if that's what you're having. Well, it's the same type of binding proteins that happen with your blood. And so if you can pour, not a hot cup of tea, by the way, it needs to be cold, so make sure you put it in the refrigerator, but if you can pour over it, while you're trying to stop the bleeding, it'll stop it within a couple of minutes. It's pretty fast. Also, if you're out and about, let's say you're walking and you happen to walk where there's like a lot of yarrow. Yarrow is your friend. It's actually the number 1 like anti-blood stopper, to help coagulate your blood. So you can take a yarrow leaf, wrap it around the cut, hold on to it, and that should stop the bleeding as well. It's also astringent, just like tannins are astringent in red wine, witch hazel, black tea, coffee has some of it. Let's see, I'm trying to think of some of the other things. Clove, cinnamon, they are all a very astringent nature. As long as like for clove, a lot of people use clove as like a painkiller. I probably wouldn't put clove in an open wound, but if you wanted to put it around the skin, it should help dull the sensation of the nerves, especially if people's feeling really throbbing pain. And sometimes when people get cut, they wonder why later on, once they've calmed down, it feels like it hurts even more. And that's because when you're in a shock state, your body doesn't really feel pain because it wants to fight or flight, right? So once you're calmed down, the pain receptors kick in, and the pain receptors, go into the spinal cord, which is relayed to the brain, which says, hey, I am hurt. So I put them on some Tylenol. The max amount of Tylenol you can give somebody is about 1,000 milligrams. Make sure there's a little bit of food in the stomach, and do it every 6 hours. If you want to give somebody less, let's say like 350 milligrams, then you do it every 3 to 4 hours. But hey, living out here in the sticks, I gotta learn how to be my own doctor. So I read a lot of medical books, as I have been since I was like a little kid. I probably should have became a doctor or a nurse or something, but that's why I love herbs so much, and that's why I love being like my witchy self, is because I love healing. And that's what you guys were talking about, is healing. And that's why I try to look at like all the various modalities I could use, not only to energetically heal in meditation, but what could I use externally as well to kind of do a little 3D, 5D type stuff. So that's that. So yeah, when the live chat ended, the first live chat today, that's because James had moved his finger and kind of reopened it a little bit. So I put a splint on it. We just kind of like taped his 2 fingers together just so it won't move, because it's kind of hard not to move your pinky, especially when you're doing things. So we want to make sure it's immobile. And like he said, we probably should have put a splint on it yesterday, but I didn't think about it. So I put a splint on it now. And then later today, I'm gonna undress it and I'm gonna clean it off because I cleaned it off before I dressed it yesterday, but we're gonna do a little bit more cleaning, put some, antibacterial on there, and then splint it up and tape it up back up. And he should be okay. I think fully healed probably within a few days, at least, and then to a week, probably just like a little teeny scar, but it's in the crook there, so I don't think you're really gonna see it. Let's see. Let's go back here. Susie said, "Such wisdom." Hey, I just read a lot, and I've done a lot in my life. Like, I really realized that my life's really eclectic. Like, I have all these weird skills. Caitlin said, "Just like when I fractured my ankle, it wasn't until I actually sat down after walking 6 to 8 blocks when I realized I need an ambulance." Exactly. It's when you calm down, then you're like, oh, this hurts. And just said, "Hugs, thanks for healing wisdom, Tara. That's what attracts me to witchcrafts too. I love making people feel better. Would you like me to light a healing candle for you and James?" That would be fabulous, actually. Thank you. And then John said, "As within, so without." Exactly. Aurora said, about her ankle. "It's fine, Andrew. I took the brace off a couple of weeks ago." So yeah, I think we're gonna have to do a healing meditation today too. Yeah, okay, so the reason I was banging on the Jeep is because I kept hearing all these sounds like under the Jeep hood, and I thought maybe there was like a little mouse, because every once in a while they run into the Jeep, and I lift the hood, I shoo them away. So I lift the hood and there's a rat like this big, and he's made an entire nest in one day, because I just looked under that hood yesterday. There is a massive nest on top of my battery, and that's not a good thing because, okay, I don't hate rats and I don't hate mice. In fact, they've been really friendly to the animals around here. They've opened their home to Miss Squirrel and her babies. They protected her. They've opened their home to the orphaned cottontail that lives up here. Like, I understand them, and I understand they're just looking for shelter. So I don't want to kill them. I don't want to murder them. But they also can't be in my battery because they're always looking for water. Like, rats and mice are really good at trying to find water, and how they try to find it is when they chew into things, they look for conductivity. And so that's the reason why they're so attracted to people's batteries, is because when they bite into battery cables, they think that the current that they feel in the battery, they think that's leading them to water, and it actually isn't. So not only is it damaging to your vehicle, but it's also damaging for them because they could electrocute themselves. I don't want that to happen to me, and I don't want that to happen to them. So that's why I was like banging. I was like trying to scare them. I was like, hey, like I don't want to hurt you. Get out of here, And I've tried, other things with them, like peppermint, tons of peppermint oil, things like that. They are a little bit immune to that. The only thing that's really worked is when I put lights around my vehicle. So nobody really comes into my vehicle at night. This was all in the morning. They made that nest this morning, and it's amazing how fast they can do that. It's crazy. So anyway, yeah, if you guys are out in the sticks and you're worried about rats and things getting into your vehicle, lights. They don't like lights because their main predator are owls and things like that. And we do have an owl that lives right here. So I started putting lights around the RV, lights around my Jeep. So they got real smart. They wait until it's dangerous for them, which is like in the daytime, for them to come out to my Jeep and to the RV. And that's when I'm like, okay, guys, you got to get out of here, Okay, so let's see here. This is like, wow. James says, with a nurse like this, I'll be back to spinning knives in no time. Yeah, that's what James was doing. He was doing his balasong, which is like a Filipino knife flipping. And yeah, what had actually happened was when he flipped it, he got his pinky caught in the flip, and the knife came down and closed like right on his finger. And what actually freaked him out, he said, is that seeing half the knife in his finger. So let's see, let's go back here. Aurora said, rat. Brian's a rat in Chinese zodiac. Interesting. Edgar said, working as a cart pusher at Walmart, I have found kittens and chicks in people's hoods. Interesting. Caitlin said, wow, Scotland and rat. This is a major confirmation for me. Angela said, basil, peppermint, sage, thyme, rosemary planted around the garden, and then a water bowl with Orbeez. And Susie says, yes, they can destroy many things. George told me this. Watch your well in the winter. If you have a heating system, they will eat through the wires. Well, luckily for our heating system, it's a wood-burning stove. So unless they find their way into the cast iron, I don't think that would be pleasant for them. I don't think they're going to do that. Angela said, mint is for spiders, basil is for rats and mice, I heard. Peppermint. They really don't like peppermint too. Susie said he had a heating system to prevent the water from freezing and they chewed through it. Yeah, we don't have we have a water heater that's in the RV, but it's, I guess it's just whenever it doesn't heat all the time, just when we need it. John said, a little radio playing, talk radio, makes them think there's people, worth a shot. Yeah, that's a good idea too. Yeah, and James is saying that they do come out at 5 a.m. When the solar lights are dying. So yeah, they're very smart, which is why I'm like, I want to tap into their energy, especially when we're building stuff around there, because they are ingenious, like engineers. Like they are very, very intelligent. Like a lot of the animals here, like oftentimes I think us humans were like, ha ha ha, I'm a human, I'm so smart. Oh, stupid animal creature. It's like, no, those creatures are about 1,000 times smarter than you. And it's like, it would behoove us to listen to them, Angela said, I would have been freaked out at that too. Angela said, the Orbeez in the water bowl will prevent bees from drowning if they want water too. Edgar said, mint is for ants, and also cinnamon for ants. If you do a little cinnamon around there, it deters them. They just won't even go where cinnamon is. So back in San Diego, I used to put cinnamon around our windowsills and the ants stopped coming in. So Magic Universe says, talk to them, ask them to leave. Oh, believe me, I've talked to those rats. The rats, for the most part, will leave. It's the mice that are like, we don't follow orders. John says it takes a lot of effort to survive in the desert and mountains. Yeah, but it's okay. I wouldn't say that it's like, I don't know. To me, everything just kind of flows pretty well. Angela said those creatures outfox us all the time. That's why people say we have a rat problem. Interesting. Okay, so yeah, that's what's going on there. I'll take care of that nest after the chat. Just kind of check things in the Jeep, but it should be fine. But that's weird because normally it's like a little mouse they'll go into the Jeep, not a rat. I'm like, interesting. John says I meant for the animals. Yes. Well, yeah, people and animals. Okay. So yeah, you guys were talking about healing. That's exactly the type of spell candle that I want to create. I want to create a healing spell candle, but I just want this to be an idea for what you guys could create. Okay? And just says, well, I gotta go, everyone. Be blessed. Eat cake, have pie. You are loved and amazing. I'll catch you again soon. Mwah! Angela, thank you. And thank you for your beautiful poetry. Amazing. Edgar is a monkey in Chinese zodiac. I'm a rooster. Anyway, so yeah, okay, for DIY spell candle, this is what you guys voted on. You can get okay, I'm gonna point this down for you guys. Hold on, let's do a little yeah, I'm gonna flip this like down like this. Okay, and just turn this like this. All right. Yeah, you guys can see. Okay, so I have this green colored candle here. And it'll be hard for me to see your comments, so I'm just gonna kind of show you what we're doing here. You guys, if you don't want to go out and like spend big money, let's say on candles, like going to like Pottery Barn and all these like bougie candles and things like that, Go to your local thrift stores, Goodwills, things like that. There's a lot of people who have so many candles. People give candles as gifts. Some people just aren't into candles, so they just give it away. And you can find them for pretty cheap. Sometimes you can find candles for like 25 cents, sometimes even up to $4 for like candles that were originally like $30. So, you know, if you are on a tight budget, and you don't want to make your own candles because you don't have maybe beeswax laying around or paraffin wax, or you know, whatever it is that you want to use. I like to use more of like beeswax or sometimes the vegan waxes. Yeah, I just get my candles at thrift stores for the most part, or people gift them to me. So I'd say this candle is probably like a quarter. It was probably like 25 cents. But when you are choosing a candle, some of you might use color magic. I do definitely feel that color holds a vibration within it. So if I'm going to create a spell candle, I want the color to match the vibration of the spell that I want to create. And I want to create a healing spell candle. So I've chosen green. Green is also connected to the heart chakra. And I think that by going into the heart chakra, we can find the most healing because that's connection to our soul. It's a connection to source, at least in my opinion. So I like this green energy. We're going to be using that here today. Okay, I'm going to do something called dressing the candle. And for that, I'm going to use an essential oil. So I'm picking out my favorite essential oil for healing, and I have tea tree oil here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to coat this in tea tree oil. And then afterwards, I'm going to roll it in my lavender that I have here. And for me, lavender is a very calming, peaceful, but healing type energy as well. I didn't want to complicate it with too many herbs and too many essential oils. I want it to be simple and effective because I like simplicity. You know, even when I'm doing like ritual or things like that, it's very simple. I don't like to, you know, go too crazy. So, simple color, one simple oil, one simple herb that we have here. Okay, I also have my knife here. No, not to cut myself, but I'm going to carve healing sigils along my candle. Now, as an example, some people like to use runes, runic symbols. So what you could do is, I'm going into my little rune bag here. Let's say I want to pick out some, I'm going to let my higher self pick. Say, hey, I need some runic symbols. And, you know, let's say I had picked these two symbols here. You know, one for actually like illumination, which is kind of like healing, but also harvesting and bringing to fruition abundance. So maybe I could put those sigils here if I wanted to, or I could create my own type of sigils. I really like triangles and pyramids and arrows, so I'm probably going to do a lot of those on here. And then I'm going to put it in a particular spell candle that I only reserve for spells. I mean, I do have other candle holders, but this one is like when I infuse like my practice into it. And, you know, the 5-pointed star here, the, you know, pentacle, which it's pentagram when it doesn't have the circle, but pentacle when it does, representing the 5 elements. So earth, air, wind, fire, spirit. Okay, and I want to infuse those things into the candle as it burns. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's do this. Let me make sure you guys can see. Alrighty, so first I'm going to start off with my runic symbols and my sigils. So I'm going to take my cool knife here, and first I'm going to start with like a triangle, because I like my triangles. And actually it is the symbol for fire, because I do want quick, speedy recovery, physical healing, but also want emotional healing, energetic healing. And 4 is my lucky number, so I'm going to incorporate that in as well. So take all these things into consideration, like what's your favorite number? What are your favorite shapes? What's your favorite sigils? What comes to mind when you're trying to create the spell candle that you are trying to create? So I'm creating 4 triangles here. Okay, I don't know if you can see it, but looks like that. Okay, and actually I am going to go into my rune bag and I'm going to let my higher self choose 2 runes that are really going to help with healing. I want this to be focused on physical healing and emotional healing and energetic healing. And I'm going to pick 2. All right, we have Fehu and we have Raido, which this would be like movement, swift movement. And here we have a connection to the divine, but also like fortune, abundance, good, like good luck. And these are actually 2 really awesome runes to have. So like a speedy good luck movement, like we want this quick healing moving forward. So I'm going to put these 2 symbols into my candle here. So let's go ahead and do that. Thank you, higher self, for coming in with this. And if you guys are wondering about this knife, James actually got this for me. I love the red on the handle. That is one of my favorite colors, is red, as well as turquoise. But I like that it also had like the grip on it, so that, you know, if I had to defend myself, I could do this. You know, you can use this like a brass knuckle or whatever. But really, this is more like a foraging tool if I need to cut anything, you know. Okay, so we got Fehu here. Let's do Raido. Okay. All right. So those are the symbols on my candle. Okay. And so this is, yeah, it's going to be like for James, for everybody. Just physical healing, emotional healing, energetic healing. I will light this today and I will let it burn all the way down. That's something with a spell candle. Just like Edgar was saying earlier, like with his Santa Muerte candle, that candle was for her. And he let it burn as far as it wanted to burn. And so I'm going to do the same with this one. I'm going to put it obviously in a place that's not windy or anything, because I want it to have an opportunity to burn as far as it needs to for the healing to emanate out of it. So it's starting to be infused with the intention, and I'm trying to keep that intention all the while when I'm putting these sigils, I'm putting these runes, and then I set the intention when I light the fire as well, just so it's all encompassing. Okay, so I'm going to actually, before my hands get real sticky, I'm going to put some of that lavender here on the table. It might be a little too much, but that's okay. We can donate some of the lavender to the forest. I think they'll appreciate it. And I have my tea tree oil here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to anoint my hands in the tea tree oil. A little bit more. Tea tree oil has such a cleansing smell to it. Oh my gosh, I love it so much. I'm going to rub my hands together. I'm going to try to coat this in that oil. Okay, we're going to do a lot more oil here. Doot, doot, doot. Rub the hands together. Oops. Again, anointing this candle in that oil. Okay. All right. And there you see it's all glistening and shiny. That's because it is full of tea tree oil. And now we're going to roll this baby in this lavender, and I'm calling on my plant ally to help us out with this. There we go. It's not going to be completely covered in lavender. You know, I just want like some bits here and there, really. So I'm going to do a little bit more oil just to make it more sticky. There we go. There we go. Coat, baby, coat. Disco Inferno. Coat, baby, coat. Spell candle inferno. Okay. I'm going to flip her over. Do a little bit more of this lavender, pressing it in. Okay. And if you don't have a pillar candle like this, like you don't have to use this style candle. You can use a little votive. You could use just like one of those little tea lights, and you could anoint the oil into the tea light. You can put a little bit of the herbs that you want to use like into that tea light. So, you know, if all you have is a little candle, that's completely fine. Okay. Okay, so when you're done, you have something that kind of looks like this. It's kind of herby, you know. That's cool beans. And then I take my very special candle holder. I'm going to place this inside. Oops. Now my hands are so slippery. Okay. All right. And then, hold on. Let's lift this thing up here so you guys can see. All right. Ooh, whoops. I didn't quite get it in there that well. You know what? Maybe I'm going to have to trim this a little bit to get it in. Haha, knives come in handy. There we go. Just like that. All right, excellent. Maybe a little bit more. No, are you in there? This is one of those candles that wasn't like actually like tapered too well, which is probably why it was on sale at the store, but that's okay. I'm putting a little lavender around the base here too. I just want to like add a little extra oomph. All right, so since it is windy out here, I will not light it out here, but I will be lighting it when I get back into the house. Yeah, and again, setting that intention that this is going to be mega healing. So I want mega healing to everyone who needs it, but also healing for James and healing for, you know, all of us, you know, emotionally, energetically, physically. Yeah, I think this one will be real nice for that. But I hope this gives you like an idea of what you could do. It's very simple. Again, just a little oil or oils, depending on how many oils you want to use. You can do a mixture of herbs. I have a little bit of lavender. It's not going to be like totally coated in that herb, but at least it has like the energy of the herb with it. As well as putting maybe a little bit of that herb around here. Okay, so let me just, oh my gosh, I wish you guys could smell my hands. They smell amazing right now. So I'm just gonna like coat my hands. My goodness, that smells good. And thank you, ceremonial knife, for helping us out here. All right, I think it is time for our meditation. Okay, let's bring her back around here. Hey, we're back. So hopefully you guys found that helpful. You know, spell candles don't have to be hugely elaborate. I know that some people like to spend, you know, a lot of money on like there's like on big bougie candles. You can if you want to, but it doesn't have to be big and bougie, because I don't think it's the price of the item that you're using or the price of the magical tool. It's the intention. You know, let's say something is like looks really pretty, like insta worthy as they say, you know, but let's say there was zero intention that went into it. Like people just wanted it to look nice, and then they are like, oh, this is my like love candle, but there was no intention into it. They just called it that. But if it could be like something super simple. It's just a red candle, but I put all of my attention, my intention, energy into it, and I'm like, this is my love candle. You know, it's infused with your magic. Like you are the magic. The only reason these candles work energetically is because of us. But it's really good for sometimes our ego and the external to be able to see this. Like, I see my magic physically in progress. And sometimes that also helps with the manifestation, even though we are the actual manifestors. So just a little FYI, but yeah, let's get into a meditation. Let's go back here. Let's see. Edgar says, I like the pull-out candles that you can place in the glass encasement because you can dress, carve, and anoint it how you like first before placing it in the glass container. Peg said, this is so awesome. Thank you. You're very welcome. Yes, Aurora, it is my athame, but it's also my forest foraging knife. I do have actually a very special athame that I keep on my altar. But yeah, I think this is like dual duty. It's magical, but it's also, you know, also for the foraging. John says, also modern candles usually don't melt that much. If you like melty candles, older candles thrifted are best. Yes. He says, I enjoyed seeing how you dress them. Thank you. Edgar said, more like the bowline knife than athame. The athame is ritualistic, while the bowline is for carving, harvesting, and physical work. Yeah, it's kind of like a mix of the two, I think. Peg says, does the sequence matter? I would like to try lighting the candle to make the herbs stick, then anoint the oil. Oh, I would say there are no rules, really. You know, they say, if it harm none, do what ye will. You know, so it doesn't matter the order in which you do things. It's your magic, your ritual, your candle. You do it in whatever order you want. You put whatever sigils. Maybe you don't want to put sigils. Maybe you don't want to put oil and you just want to like press some herbs in there. Like I'm trying to think of like a cinnamon stick, cinnamon pieces and things like that. You know, peppercorns, you know, if you wanted to. Aurora said, there are too many people who scam people into buying spells. Yeah. A little sad, but oh, KDS worker, thank you. She said, please send healing energy to my sister in Washington, D.C. She starts chemo tomorrow. She has 2 children, and this cancer is aggressive. Thank you for empowering us to do our own sessions too. Yes, let's do that. We'll do a mega healing session for your sister, and then we'll do one for all of us that are needing some physical, energetic, emotional, you know, type healing in whatever area you might need it in. And then maybe I ask everybody who's in the chat if you could send those good vibes, not only to KDS worker, but outwards. But we're definitely going to send some stuff to your sister. Thank you, thank you. Andrea said, I also believe that intentions and symbols matter the most. There you go. And to her family, yes. John says, that's why magic can be difficult for A-types. Need rules to follow. Oh my goodness. Edgar says, be right back. Puppies are calling for mommy and I have to go get her. Okay, so KDS worker, let's have everybody. Let's get together. And I'll keep your sister in mind as well when I light this candle today, when I get it inside the house. And then we'll put all that intention outwards. But I'm just going to do, well, actually, I'm going to pull a card for her after I do a little healing for her, just to see kind of how the energy was received. So let's do that, actually. And let's use Wally's World for that, because he is the healing deck here. A healing journey home. That's right, a healing journey is the journey home. Okay, so I'll have this in my hands. Okay, her name is Laura. Okay. Okay, so I'm just gonna connect to her energy. Okay, so KDS worker, as I was connecting to your sister's energy, it was that her fear was it's not in her own mortality. although a part of that is there, to the confusion of like what lies beyond. Let's say I'm not here anymore. What happens? A lot of this is coming up. Like, what actually happens? Is it nothingness? Do I go somewhere? So of course these are the questions that are coming up. But mostly the thing that she's worried about is her family. She feels responsible for everybody's well-being. And so to have somebody who has felt like she's had to take on the responsibility of not only her family, but she feels like she takes on responsibility for her friends. Like, she wants to help as many people as possible. And she feels almost like she's letting people down if she can't be there for those people. But at an energetic level, I'm trying to speak to her higher self, her soul, letting her know that the way to recharge her batteries is to heal. She has to focus on her and her healing, going into her heart space, kind of like this green candle. And that the best way to help her family and to help her friends is to help herself. And let's go in there. And it seems like in childhood, the main motivation for this is feeling responsible for the well-being of your parents, the older family members. Even if people didn't physically tell her like, oh, you need to do this, you need to take care of this person, she just felt like that responsibility was hers. And so she's run most of her life almost without a break. I think she takes less care of herself than she does everybody else. Not to say she doesn't take care of herself, but if, let's say she had a cold, she would ignore that cold in favor of, let's say, her husband, her children. Like, they come first in her mind. But something you can talk to her either physically or energetically, because you can talk to her in meditation while she's trying to heal as well. But to let her know that when we go into that energy of other people come first before me, you're teaching those other people the same, that they don't matter as much as everybody else. And I'm sure that's not what she's trying to actually instill in her children and the people around her, but that's the energy. And so that's the energy to heal, is that she comes first now. Her healing is of the utmost importance. And a love for herself is a deep love for her family. She's saying, I matter so much. I love myself so much that I'm going to heal because I am important. And she would want that for her children. She would want that for the people that she loves the most. That they would tell themselves, I love myself. I matter. I want to help others, but I know in order to do that, I must help myself first. And I think she's starting to see this. Just sending her some energy into her heart space. All right, I have the image of a lot of beautiful butterflies, so I love that. I'm going to pull a card just to see how the energy was received. So again, using Wally's World. Let's do that. Okay. Oh, I like that. Okay, so this, I don't know if you guys can kind of understand this image, but this is a stage. This is like the background. These are the lights. This is actually at the Metropolitan Opera in New York, taken by my friend who is an opera singer. So let me go into this one. Okay, so I do see the energy as well received. Sometimes, you know, we can send people energy, but if their higher self or their human self is unwilling to accept it, we can't force energy onto anyone. But it feels like she is in an open, receptive mood or energy. So she was receptive to that. So anything that you guys do, anybody here in the church, or anybody in the chat, anybody in synagogue or whatever, anybody, you know, wherever people pray, whether it's on your yoga mat, whatever it may be, people sending that energy, it seems like she would be receptive to that. So whatever it is you practice, whatever religion, whatever belief, she is open to it. Because this card to me is like I am open to new opportunities. Like I'm open to things coming around for the better. So okay, and that's good. That means that she is open for like some really truly deep healing. So not only with what the doctors are trying to do on her physical level, but I know that you, being her sister, KDS, that you can help to show her what she can work on at the energetic level, her emotional level, because I know that sometimes it may feel difficult, you know, when you have doctors trying to help you and you feel like there's nothing you can do personally except to listen to what the doctor says or allow the doctor to do what they do. But this gives her something to do, you know, that she can look inwards, and the things that, you know, I said that her soul was talking about, and I know that you can help her with that. So that way she doesn't feel helpless. It gives her her power back. So she can work on that while the doctors need to do what they need to do. Okay. Let's go back here. Susie says, may she grow old and watch her family thrive as she thrives. KDS says, my sister does theater and sings at the church. Oh my goodness. So that the theater card, the opera card, is perfect for her then. And Susie said, the candle I lit is flickering bright for Laura. KDS says, I appreciate every person here and am blessed, and thank you for caring. Well said. All right. So, yeah, we'll keep her in our thoughts. And yeah, she is a part of that candle, that spell candle as well. All right, so speaking of healing, let's do a nice meditation for all of us. Probably don't want to look at my mug during this meditation, so I'm going to flip this around actually, and you guys can look at this wonderful juniper. Because to me, juniper has a beautiful healing energy, which is also why I wanted to come underneath this juniper tree to dress this candle. I know that I could have gone indoors and, you know, someplace else with shade, but I wanted the energy of this tree up here to help us with her lovely energy. And this would be a female tree because she is full of berries. So, all right, you guys, let's go ahead and get into a comfortable space. You guys can be lying down. You can be sitting in a chair. You could be outside, inside, whatever's comfortable for you. And I want you to take your two hands and I want you to place them right over your heart space. And actually today I want you to bring your awareness to your heartbeat. Do you feel it? The rhythmic thump, thump, thump underneath your hands. The heart that has found so many physical and symbolic representations. The heart having been so important in so many ancient cultures. We talk about the heartbeat of the earth, expectant mothers often hear their own heartbeat when looking at the sonograms of their babies to be. And when we first receive consciousness in a physical form, the first thing we hear is the heartbeat of our mother. The same heartbeat that you feel in your chest right now. I want you to feel the power behind this heartbeat. Not only the physical heart that pumps life force energy throughout this physical vessel, but also its symbolic representation. It represents love, courage, loyalty. It represents source. We often talk about entering the gateway of the soul through the heart. Being centered in our heart space. And so whatever thoughts may be going through your mind now, thank them for passing through and bring your awareness back to that rhythmic, beautiful thump, thump, thump underneath your hands, right there in the center of your chest. And I want you to thank your heart for all the things that it's done for you. It not only keeps you alive, but it's been there whenever you've needed quick energy, whenever you've loved, and whenever you've lost. It's been there when you felt courage and when you felt afraid. It's been there when you felt strong and when you felt weak. But whatever you may have been going through, and whatever you may be going through now, your heart continues to beat. So if ever you feel like you need courage, you feel you need strength, I want you to put your hands on your heart. I want you to feel its powerful thump, thump, thump. And let it remind you that this doorway to the soul, the heart of your engine, your vehicle, is right here with you. It will always be here with you, physically and energetically. If you have any questions at this moment, I want you to ask your heart. And when you ask your questions, do you feel the rhythm of the heartbeat change? Because in that is also an answer. Whether the heartbeat slows or quickens, listen for its answers. The answers are always within you, right here in the thump, thump, thump. When you feel ready, you can bring your awareness back into your body. Know that you can come back to the space at any time you wish, night or day, standing in line at the DMV. All you have to do is put your hands over your heart and breathe. All right, when you're ready, go ahead and open your eyes. You can wiggle your fingers and toes. And we come back. All right, you guys, I thank you all for a wonderful part 2 of our chat. Thanks for dressing a candle with me, creating our own little spell candle. Hopefully it gave you guys some wonderful ideas. Thank you for doing this meditation with me and hanging out actually in our juniper tree. And there was actually a little juniper titmouse that was like knocking on the tree during the meditation. So I thought that was really cool. So thank you guys. Thanks for slanging some cards. Definitely sending some love to Laura for KDS Worker's sister, and to all of you guys that are needing a little extra help, this week and at this moment in time. Sending that out to the world, lighting this candle when I get back inside, tending to my patient. But I thank you guys so much. Yes, love you guys. Andrew said thank you for the stream. I enjoyed it again. Sending good wishes to everyone. Same to you. Catch you all later. Have a beautiful week. Peace, love, and chicken grease. Peace out. Bye, guys.